Hey guys, it's your girl Noelle Blue, and this is another in real life. One of the interesting things I discovered while reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was how they described the star system. Did you guys know that that was a real thing? Hmm. Well, in real life, the star system existed and it turned stars like Rita Hayward, Rock Hudson, and Marilyn Monroe into the names that we know today. So let's find out more about the star system in real life. During the 1930s to about the 1950s, movie studios like MGM and the like used to use casting or more or less typecasting to find their actors and actresses. A lot of these actors and actresses were already on payroll as like an actor stable, and they had to go through these really grueling processes of star making in order to actually make it big. So a lot of the people like Rock Hudson, Marilyn Monroe, and Rita Hayward that we know today started off as completely different people with completely different personalities. Sound kind of familiar, huh? A lot of these stars were actually forced to go on very restrictive diets. They were actually forced to get cosmetic surgery done. For some of the women, for some people, their ethnicity being too prominent, they were forced to physically change that. They did, of course, go through very normal things like diction lessons, dancing and singing training, vocal lessons, things of that nature. But some of them were just weird skills that they needed to learn, like horseback riding and fencing, all to be a more well rounded character that you would be playing full time. Stars like Margarita Cancino, they had to go under an entire full body workup, just like Evelyn. Who was that I just mentioned? Rita Hayward. Rita Hayward is very much Cuban born, but they needed to fit her into this Caucasian woman package. She needed to still look exotic enough to where people could covet her comfortably, but she needed to definitely play into the Caucasian role so that she seemed more wholesome and more desirable by mainstream cast. So what did they do? They forced her on restrictive diets, forced her to maintain a very strenuous exercise regimen, gave her diction lessons, of course, to get rid of any type of Hispanic accent that she had, made sure that her waistline and body type fit more of the Caucasian stereotype and less of her Hispanic roots, and then, for good measure, they made sure she got rid of her name, Rita Hayward, and then they gave her 2 years of painful electrolysis so that they could remove her hairline so it looked more Caucasian and less Hispanic. And she did all that so that she could be famous. Other celebrities who went through the star making process were people like Roy Schur Jr., who eventually became Rock Hudson, Norma Martinson, who ended up becoming Marilyn Monroe, Bernard Schwartz, who we might know as Tony Curtis, and Alexandra Zuck, who ended up being Sandra Dee. I think it's interesting the parallels that we can draw from the golden era of Hollywood and how they were able to turn everyday normal people into these characters that we know and love so much. I think it's a good way to compare it is actually how K-pop stars are being morphed into these personas now, and honestly how music and film has continued to force people into these kind of stereotypes to continue to promote their narrative. So again, in real life, that actually happened. They really did change your name, your look, and everything about you and force you to play a character full time in order to play a character temporarily. And that happened. It did. All right, guys, if you know anything more about the star making process, if you know other studios that did it, or if you know the real true blue name of a celebrity who became somebody else once they became famous, leave a comment below. I might have forgotten somebody. I'm not perfect. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. See you next episode of In Real Life. Bye.